The first question, who came here to see what the hell the century-old company can tell you about innovation? Okay, good. 4 persons. Good, very, very good. And I have, it's not the present, please return, but I will start to show you some good examples. And we'll talk about wood, most boring thing in the world, but you can.
Well, I disagree, but you carry on.
Yeah. And this is a plywood, but most interesting thing is here, and this is oleogel. Oh no, it's not this. It's a cocaine. Oh no, sorry, it's a bad joke. Here is a oleogel. It's the base for many cosmetological things. You can, I will show from myself first. Yes, you can try it and put on your, who are very courageous. You've seen it. And the second thing that I can give you, you can see. And ciao. And yeah, a lot of good things. And why we doing this? And I will start asking Talivaldis how to change culture in more than 100 years old wood company to people to start to innovate. But firstly, maybe short introduction about this this small oleogel.
Well, yeah, actually, there are quite a few things circulating around. So let's start. Latvijas Finieris is a birch plywood manufacturing company. So in the intro was, what's common with the birch plywood manufacturer and the cosmetics industry. And it's part of innovation. So we produce plywood, but there are quite a few things which are side products. Not everything that is made into the plywood, actually there are like a birch bark or branches of the tree that have very multiple applications. So to answer your question, how to change the 100-year-old mentality into innovations, it's into the company's values actually. And if there are the right motivational aspects in the company, people themselves actually start to innovate. And it doesn't mean if you are part of research and development team or CEO or just somebody who's working at a random workstation. At our company, there are lots of motivational incentives that actually make you innovate all the time. And these products here, like you see transparent wood or oleogel that's for cosmetics, it's also part of...
It's a plywood.
It's a plywood,
it's
exactly.
A transparent plywood.
Yeah, so, it's not just for the sake of innovating. Yeah. There are two different ways of why and how we innovate, but...
Yeah, but about this incentives, and probably for people who are sitting here and probably starting their businesses, it's a little bit different situation. Maybe just who have company older than 5 years, few persons, and your company have history from
1873.
1873. It's a little bit different, and of course it's a very traditional industry.
Yeah.
But this motivation, is it a monetary motivation? Is it you said values? And I'm always a little bit
some people are
careful.
Skeptical or careful. But one thing is that, first of all, many people or employees at our company, they are shareholders. Okay. So therefore, they don't think that we are making money for that guy or that guy. We are making money for ourselves, and we are trying to develop our company. So that's, I think, one of the key things. But not only. The other thing is that, for instance, we are a lot of internal incentives. Like we have idea lab internally in a company where people submit their ideas how to improve cooperation between different departments. or Kaizen incentive. Kaizen is when you see certain failures or certain things that you can improve yourselves, and then you submit, and those people who submit these Kaizen ideas, we have an internal commission, and they evaluate these ideas, and then people actually get rewarded. They get addition to their salary for trying to come up with some ideas. So therefore, actually there is, in a way, internal competition who will get more out of innovating things.
But I know about this oligo, again, this process is more than 10, or maybe even 15 years.
Exactly, yes.
And how to deal with a so long view?
Yeah, so many of you, I hope that most of you or all of you have been in the forest, and you know what the birch tree looks like. So the birch tree have very peculiar bark. And when the tree falls down, you also maybe have noticed that sometimes you walk in the forest, the tree has fallen down, and then you step on it, and all the middle of the tree pulp is rotten, but the actual skin or the bark remains whole. So then the scientists started to ask the questions, why? What's the reason? And then the other thing is, in olden days, when people didn't have fridge, they used to store food like butter or curd in birch bark vessels, or in Latin we call ciba. We have a special name for it. And then the question was, why? What's the reason? And the olden days, people didn't know. They just knew, well, it preserves longer our food. But then, together with the Latvian State Institute of Wood Chemistry, our company started to research, because we make plywood from the birch tree, and the bark was used to create energy, to burn for our internal use. But then, why do we need to burn something that maybe has some potential in it, some value? So when the research started, nobody actually knew, where we're going to go with it. But the main thing was to find out what's inside and how to use it. What are the benefits? So in the end, we discovered that there are quite a lot of things like betulin, betulinic acid, lupeol, and they have a lot of good things that actually are very useful for the cosmetics or pharmaceutical industry, like cell regenerative or anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, etc. Many things. And the next thing is, okay, that we know that there is this substance, and then we need to somehow market it into these areas.
But in many cases, how far I understand, you start the process, you don't know the end user who will use these products. It's a little bit risky.
Well, sometimes I'd say there is a gist, you can't just, but for instance, in this case, yes, it's kind of we say that there are disruptive ideas, and then there are those ideas that actually improve everyday life. So in a way, this one is a disruptive idea, because something that we used to burn actually has more value than our core product. If you measure in terms of, I don't know, cubic meters or cost per, I don't know, liter or weight. But the thing is, you cannot make one product, you cannot make betulin from the birch bark if you don't produce the plywood. So in a way, it's a side stream product.
Okay.
And then when you start researching it, then you say, okay, these specific features can possibly go in those specific industries without really knowing how and when and what will be the product. But we know that there is some potential. So, well, it took 15 years to research that. And then when we started to some cooperation with cosmetics companies and dermatologists to understand what would be the right consistency or formulation of the product that go into the cosmetics, then we had to actually rework, because we started with a betulin, and then we understood that actually, no, it's a birch bark extract that actually works in the specific industry.
And you mentioned this disruptive ideas and this, we call it modification, innovation. And of course, we know that this disruptive good idea maybe comes one per 10 or maybe 20 years. But how about this, and which creates more value? This big ideas, disruptive ideas, or this improving of processes? What can the audience can take from your experience?
Well, in our case, disruptive ideas can't come very often. So therefore, our experience saying that, oh, definitely disruptive, probably no. The more small improvements on everyday processes or improvements for the specific products, those make the main difference. Because we don't, let's say, when you look at the product, a simple product like a plywood, it's not maybe that simple like as it appears, because each specific industry, like I mentioned, 28 different industries that buy plywood, they each have specific need requirement regarding the fire, smoke, or strength resistance, or bending, or many other things, or maybe the glue type that goes inside. So we work with those industries together. We don't kind of say, okay, we can paint the plywood yellow, let's go for it. No, it's actually comes, there's one thing that is this pull effect from the industry that actually has some specific needs and requirements, and we try to work with their R&D together. And then there are others that actually we figure out, okay, this is our innovation, and let's try to sell it to a specific market. And it actually works both ways, but we constantly keep spare resources for innovation constantly, and also not only the human resources, time resources, but also money that we dedicate for this.
Okay. Is there some difference between if you see the end user or retail user, or the second mindset is if you are in the middle, you are client for the client? Are there some differences?
Well, of course, let's say all of you here in the audience, you know, you're creating something, whether it's, I don't know, IT technology or some products, and they are designed for a specific customer. But especially in our case, we are building components for the specific industry. And let's very basic example. If you look at the European streets, you have these cargo lorries that pull the goods from one end of the Europe to another. And they have a floor inside. And this floor is made from the plywood. You may not notice, and maybe even this stage is made from plywood. So we innovate, or we make product kind of for the transportation company, but that transportation company sells it to the logistics company. And we are not simply thinking about our customer, but we're thinking about the customer's customer. So maybe one company requires very slippery floors, maybe other requires very heavy duty for, I don't know, transporting steel materials and anti-slip floor. So therefore, we really need to look two, or maybe sometimes 3 steps ahead of our customer and try to make our customer kind of more competitive in comparison to their competition.
Okay. So you sell to one company, but research you must do to end user.
End users, yes.
End user, how they're using this. And yeah, one interesting example, and then who have this plywood piece, there's a written on this LNG tankers. Maybe that's the one interesting idea. What is inside the LNG ship, liquid natural gas ship? Why there's a plywood inside?
Okay, so if you imagine a ship, it's like a big hull, or it's like a thermos or flask where you actually put inside the liquid, and the temperature inside is different from what is on the exterior. So once you compress the gas, when it becomes liquefied natural gas, the temperature actually reduces to minus 170 or something like this. Don't remember exactly, but it's minus something very big. So that means you need to protect the ship hull from freezing. So there is an insulation, and the part of this insulation is plywood. It goes from both sides of this insulation. And the reason they use plywood is because most materials in such a low temperature, they either become very rigid, they can crack, or they reduce in the size. And the birch plywood is a very unique material that actually is not affected by these low temperatures. So therefore, the birch plywood actually is kind of from both sides of the insulation. One layer goes against the ship, and the other one goes inside, actually where the gas is. But there is still a steel frame inside, but actually the birch actually is in contact with minus 170 degrees.
But in this case, the shipping companies come to industry and say that we need wooden part, plywood, or what was the process? How, and maybe the question is how for the audience, how to make mindsets, how to see possibilities. What is your experience? How to understand, because it's not a very logical way to see plywood, LNG tankers.
Yeah, well. Every single company that manufactures something, they do material science and try to understand, what works best for their product, and it takes, sometimes years to understand, what is the best product application. So once, the companies, they decide, okay, they test many materials, they understand, okay, birch plywood would be the one, then historically, I know some Finnish companies have actually used these, but our role actually to get into these big industries is also constant product development. And once we improve the product and we try to prove to that industry that we can remain the consistency in the quality, then actually you need to get past various certifications so that you can actually be. It doesn't mean that once you make birch plywood, you can sell to LNG tankers. You have to have consistent quality. But actually, that comes from that specific industry that says, okay, we need this type of product. Can you produce it? And we say yes.
And one thing that I trying to summarize our discussion is probably in your industries too, there are some side products or something like that. You're programming something for somebody, and then you have some good ideas, and to catch those ideas and probably to become the more valuable business. And what is, maybe you can open some different ideas or some directions, of course, what you want to open. What is ideas inside your company currently, or is it business secrets?
Well, no. Well, one of the main things is that it's good that there are lots of different technologies that help our businesses to improve IT systems, artificial. We use quite a lot artificial intelligence, for instance, in product sorting, and to make our job more efficient. But the thing is that, for instance, all of you here, we are sitting on a piece of furniture. We are wearing clothes. None of us here is naked. So therefore, everything that is around here is being manufactured and produced somewhere. And if we look into the future, we want to have products more sustainable. And if the products, like products made out of wood, they are sustainable because they can regrow. Our company plants more than 1 million trees a year. So that means that looking into the future, we want to say that, there is a part of forest that should remain for leisure. There is a part of forest that should be totally protected, so that, it's for the green books to protect, or red books. And there is a part that should be used similar like agricultural land for generating more products and more taxes for the government or for our own use. So that's our main concern. And it's not really about the product development or innovation. It's about thinking long-term and in terms of sustainability.
Long-term thinking. Okay, we have 10 seconds left, and applauses to Talivaldis, Silenieks, Latvijas Finieris, and
thank you.
Yeah, last thing, think big, do small, but start doing things.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.